At one point, when you start to realize, like, I guess, was it Mike Johnson who said, Joe Biden's not going to be doing cocaine before which of course is Mike Johnson saying, I want to start the rumor that Joe Biden is doing cocaine before the debate. But once it becomes clear that people are mocking the Republicans for claiming that Joe Biden is going to be taking drugs, they've got to figure out, well, what is the other way in which Joe Biden is going to be in somehow enhancing his performance. And this dude, Representative Eric Burlison, Republican from Missouri's 7th district, has an interesting idea as to how Joe Biden is going to get ready for this debate. And frankly, I'm not sure it's as effective of a narrative as he thinks it is.
That Ronnie Jackson says Biden will have been at.
Oh, pause it for 1 second. Let me just correct Maria Bartiromo. The way she pronounces Ronnie Jackson is Pill Mill Jackson, being investigated by the Ethics Committee, demoted by the Navy for running a pill mill out of the White House. Jackson Johnson is the way you pronounce that guy's name. Go ahead.
That Ronnie Jackson says Biden will have been at Camp David for a full week before the debate, and that they're probably experimenting with getting doses right, giving him medicine ahead of the debate. Is that what you think?
Yeah, I think that, any patient that truly, or, elderly individual or someone that has dementia, they can find some moments of clarity, right? They can find moments throughout the day that they have energy. And I think that Trump's team should not underestimate Joe Biden and his team's ability to whether they're going to jack him up on Mountain Dew or whatever it is. That look, the State of the Union this year, he had a lot of energy for about an hour or an hour and a half.
That Ronnie Jackson.
So there you have it. They're going to jack him up on Mountain Dew. I got news for you, folks. If dementia can be cured by Mountain Dew, I want a piece of that action.
Yeah,
well, it's only the Code Red.
Yeah.
Code Red Mountain Dew.
I mean, honestly, like, do they think that claiming that Joe Biden is drinking Mountain Dew is somehow disqualifying? What if he's having coffee? They're gonna pump him full of coffee before the debate. That's disqualifying.
Wasn't Trump taking some yeah, they're old 70-year-old men. They're probably.
Am I the only one who remembers that?
Yeah, no.
The guy was so jacked on Ritalin. I mean,
it's more potent when you snort it.
Well, it tickles my nose.
He's got the original Jolt Cola with all that caffeine. That stuff has been legal for 20 years.
This is the problem with their whole electoral strategy. He's an old, doddering fool that we have to watch out for during the debate because they could give him Mountain Dew and turn him into some type of super genius. Man, they really need to workshop this. Meanwhile, you got one Republican out there saying that Joe Biden's going to be jacked up on Mountain Dew, and so the Trump people should be ready. And then Mike Huckabee gets on to Fox News and says the complete opposite. Where's Huckabee been? Has he been he's gone mountain man?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a very sterile environment, and I'm surprised that Joe wanted it that way because he can't in any way feed off the crowd. Now, you could say, well, Donald Trump can't either, but Donald Trump understands the power of television in a way Joe doesn't. And here's going to be the problem for Joe Biden. If he goes through that yelling thing, it's going to come across as an irrational crazy man because television is such an intimate medium. In a crowd, you can yell, and it sounds like in the context. There is no context. But if he's stumbling, then it's a close-up shot, and you see his eyes, you see his lips fumble. It's really a bad forum for Joe Biden, more so than Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, as we know, he can be hilariously funny. He can
pause it for a second. Look, I have no idea what I like how they've got like Biden's like falling over on that image that they cut to. But I suspect that Joe Biden has had some experience in not just doing debates, but in speaking when there's not necessarily a big crowd in front of him. Like he's probably done a couple of press conferences. This is like sort of, I mean, Joe Biden's old, make no mistake about it. But this idea that somehow like Joe Biden may not understand the power of television in politics. Is there anybody who's been in politics longer than this guy who's still alive in the country anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be kind of similar to the Paul Ryan debate. Even though there was a crowd there, it was subdued. My recollection. And Biden's going to be an asshole to Trump and be like over him. And I think it might play well. I don't know.
We'll see. Let's.
And Donald Trump, as we know, he can be hilariously funny. He can, be sarcastic. I think he's going to have a great night, and he's prepared for it in two ways that people are missing. Because I hear people say he's not been, having these coaching sessions. He doesn't need them. He sat through 7 weeks of a trial in which he had to be insulted day after day after day. You can't get better preparation than that. And then he's been out on the rally.
By every report, the guy fell asleep in trial every single day.
Yeah.
They had to feed him constantly sheets of paper with positive notes on it or something. Positive affirmations.
That was maybe good preparation for his lawyers.
His aide who had the wireless printer to print out fawning coverage.
Yeah, and I don't think he said a word during the whole time. I don't understand. Does Huckabee get paid for this? I hope so.
I think he does, yeah.
I would hope so, because why else, would you rush to come to the microphone to, offer this completely absurd analysis?
Hey, you can't get better preparation than that. And then he's been out on the rally stage, and he's been talking to cheering crowds. He's ready.
All right. Well, you were ready. Mike, thank you very much for joining us live on this.
Even Ducey's like, all right, whatever. We had to do this. It's like one of those at some of those country clubs or something you join where it's you got to give us $50 a month or $100 a month. Or you can have dinner here and we charge you, but that will eat up the thing. That's what it's sort of that dynamic had to feel.
Huckabee's a member. We got to give him 15 minutes.
We got to give him 15 minutes. And
He asked for FaceTime.
he asked for FaceTime and he's like, all right, fine. Okay. He just went, Huckabee, from saying I don't think Joe Biden's going to be able to not yell because he's used to being in front of the State of the Union. Meanwhile, then he goes and says, and meanwhile, Donald Trump has been doing all these rallies. So he's completely ready. He's either been yelling or he's been asleep.
The ultimate huckster, like Huckabee.
Marv from Iowa. Did you ever hang out with Barry Crimmins in Boston? His book, Never Shake Hands with a War Criminal, is one of the many books that helped me break my conservative upbringing. Not only did I hang out with Barry in Boston, Barry then worked at Air America for, I don't know, the first year or two, I think. And he bought my computer. But yeah, I knew Barry quite a bit in Boston. There was one story where he, at 4 a.m. in my apartment in Somerville, there was a lot of alcohol drank by Barry and us. And someday, someone's going to be asking you about this night. Yeah, he influenced my comedy quite a bit, actually. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.